Alston is live at Atlanta Police Headquarters. And Yasmina, what are police saying about his death?
Well, Kim, police say there are no signs of foul play at this point, but the case is still active. Now, we do know the preliminary cause of death is drowning, but we do not know the manner of death, so whether it was an accident or whether it was a suicide. Now, fire rescue found Cunningham's body in the Chattahoochee River after a call from fishermen, close to an area they searched back in February unsuccessfully. Officials saying that particular area was difficult to access. We are told he was wearing his jogging shoes and was in fact a jogger. Police also say they found 3 crystals in his pocket and that he was a collector. As we've reported before, he left home without his keys and ID. The area his body was found in is also not far from where he lived, but police are telling us we may never be able to know how exactly he ended up in the river. But again, at this point, there is no indication of any foul play, and officials do say that based on the condition of his body, it is consistent with him being missing since February. Vince?
The police say they're confident in their investigation of no foul play, but a lot of questions surrounding his disappearance, and it's going to remain active as an investigation. So what is Cunningham's family saying now that he's been identified?
I did give Cunningham's parents a call, and I spoke with his mother, who said this was obviously a very difficult time for them, but the family had no additional comments. Vincent, Kim?
All right, Yasmina Alston reporting live from police headquarters. Thank you.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg will testify before 3 congressional committees next week. He will testify about how the company handles users' private information. CBS 46's Alicia Roberts joins us now with new developments and tips to protect your privacy. Alicia.
Well, Kim, the social media giant today admitting that data firm Cambridge Analytica gained unauthorized access for more than 87 million people. That number up from what was previously reported of 50 million. Now, yesterday, Zuckerberg told reporters he's still the best person to lead Facebook. That while he also admits his company made a, quote, huge mistake.
It's clear now that we didn't do enough.
In a rare conference call with reporters, Zuckerberg fell on his sword, acknowledging that a company hired by the Trump campaign was able to access the personal data of far more users than previously believed. Up to 87 million people unwittingly shared their information with Cambridge Analytica, a political consulting firm partially funded by the billionaire Mercer Foundation.
When you're building something like Facebook, there are going to be things that you mess up. And if we'd gotten this right, we would have messed something else up.
But some lawmakers see this as the latest in a series of security blunders that Zuckerberg should answer for in person.
The air needs to be cleared by the CEO.
They want to know why Zuckerberg initially laughed off the notion of foreign meddling back in 2016.
The idea that fake news on Facebook influenced the election in any way, I think, is a pretty crazy idea.
That, he says, was a mistake that has since been fixed. Just this week, Facebook removed more than 270 Russian pages and accounts and restricted apps from accessing certain details about you and your friends. Still, the internet giant's stock price tumbled more than 10% since last month. Morgan Stanley warns that, quote, Facebook's data privacy issues are feeding investor concern.
We can certainly do a better job of explaining what we actually do. The vast majority of the data that Facebook knows about you is because you chose to share it.
Also says he believes the government should more heavily regulate social media companies more than it does today. But what does this really mean for you? What can you do to make sure your information is safe? I sat down with our head of digital content to walk you through the steps today to make sure your information is protected. On the homepage of your Facebook account, go to the top blue bar and look for the upside-down arrow to the far right. Click on the Settings option in that drop-down menu. Once on the Settings page, look to the column to the left about 2/3 of the way down and click on the link for Apps. This is the page that controls the information shared with third parties. Go to the top left box titled Apps, Websites, and Games and click Edit. From here, you'll see a blue box that says Turn Off. Click on this to stop Facebook from sharing your information with those third parties. And as a quick note, once you do turn that option off, the next time you go to log into those apps, you'll have to do so either with a username or your email, but that does mean your information will be better protected. In the Digital News Center, Alicia Roberts, CBS 46 News.
All right, thank you, Alicia. Well, another privacy issue. Heads up if you fly Atlanta-based Delta, your personal information could be in the hands of hackers. Now, to be clear, Delta itself was not hacked. Rather, it was a partner called 24/7. That company handles Delta transactions. You could be impacted if you flew Delta between September 27th and October 12th of last year. Delta will be contacting you, but if you still have some questions, we posted a link on our free CBS 46 News app.
The president is in West Virginia today for a tax reform roundtable. President Trump and other Republicans are touting the benefits of the tax overhaul they pushed through Congress last year, stressing their success ahead of the midterm elections. The president pointed out West Virginia senator voted against the bill.
He votes against everything, and he voted against our tax cuts, and that was bad. And he also voted against medical help and health care, and that's bad. And we can't have it. So, you know, it's one of those things. And he does other things that I don't like, I'll be honest with you. He does other things. So, you know, you're going to have a chance. You're going to have a chance to get a senator that's going to vote our program, that's going to help you in so many different ways.
The president also said that the military would be building some of the southern border wall and that our laws on immigration have to get stricter.
A huge break in a scandal involving millions of dollars in cash for city contracts in Atlanta. It happened during the Kasim Reed administration. Now, right there is a picture of Mitzi Bickers. The former high-ranking City Hall employee pleaded not guilty to a lot of charges today. They include conspiracy, money laundering, wire fraud, threatening a witness, and filing false tax returns. Bulldog Jonathan Carlson was watching Bickers in court. He has a lot more on this coming up at 5. And right now on our CBS 46 News app, how the bribery scandal could change the way City Hall does business. Lawyers for the CEO of Waffle House hand over sex tapes to a Cobb County judge. A former employee claims CEO Joe Rogers Jr. forced her into sex. The former employee filed a police report saying Rogers demanded she perform sexual acts to keep her job. Rogers says they had a consensual sexual relationship and that the woman is attempting to extort him.
A tour bus on the way to the Masters in Augusta today with more than a dozen people on board flipped this morning. The driver of that bus is now charged with DUI, and we have just learned it was for drugs, not alcohol. CBS 46 reporter Ayanna Crystal is live in Midtown with more on where the passengers are, how they're doing, and more about that tour bus company. Ayanna.
Well, Kim, all 19 passengers were taken to the hospital. We have just learned that one person is in critical condition. Now, the company used to drive that tour bus is Jet Executive Limousine. And so we did some research. We went online, and the number listed for the company is a cell phone number. So we wanted to find out where that office is located. So that brings us here in Midtown. The address that we found is 933 Peachtree Street, and that's where we are, except there is no office here. The address listed is just that building across the street, except there is no company named Jet Executive Limousine inside of there. Now, we want to show you video of the scene of the crash. The bus overturned on I-20 in Columbia County just before 9 this morning. The tour bus carrying 19 people was headed to the Masters tournament in Augusta. So here's what happened. According to the Georgia State Patrol, the bus first ran off the right side of the road and the driver overcorrected to the left, causing the bus to turn over in the median. And we have learned the driver of the bus is 61-year-old Stephen Hoppenbauer of Gwinnett County. He was charged with DUI and failure to maintain lane. We have learned from police he was under the influence of drugs while driving the bus. As for the passengers, 9 of them were taken to Doctors Hospital and 10 were taken to Augusta Medical Center. We have learned one is in critical condition, one is in serious condition, and one is in fair condition. Now, all of the other passengers are in good condition or have been treated and released. All right, so we wanted more information about this company, so we tried to get a hold of the owner. I called him to find more information about the driver and how long he has been with the company. He declined to comment and hung up on me. So coming up at 5, we did some more research on this company, and I will tell you what I found out. For now, that's the latest in Midtown. Ayanna Crystal, CBS 46 News.
It is beautiful outside and it feels great in the sunshine. Current temperatures are in the mid 60s for Metro, a little bit cooler up in the mountains, 60 degrees, 70 down towards LaGrange. Feels like room temperature outside, right? Especially with that dominant blue skies and the sun out. 64 degrees in Marietta, 64 in Gainesville. Temperatures are running in general about 5 degrees below average for this time of year. Zooming in, you can see some of these high clouds, these cirrus clouds building in. That's going to bring us filtered sunshine through the afternoon, but you don't have to worry about rain. We are going to remain dry. Zooming out, you can see it is dry across the southeast, and that's going to stay the same through the next 24 hours. Taking a look at your evening, you might need a jacket if you're going to be out after sunset, but it's not going to be too cold with temperatures in the low 60s falling into the upper 50s overnight. Now tonight will be much warmer than last night by about 10 degrees with morning lows in the mid to upper 40s. And tomorrow we continue that warming trend. We'll get a dry day. It will be mostly cloudy, but we'll be back into the 70s. You're going to stay tuned because we are in for some weekend rain on Saturday. I'm going to go through the timing of that and let you know how it could impact the Masters. Coming up after the break. Vince.
All right, Ella, run down homes that have to go.
A Metro Atlanta community gets to work cleaning up to make their neighborhood safer.
Buyer beware, shiny and new doesn't always satisfy. Better Call Harry found the #1 car people would never buy again.